Welcome to another graphic novel review from Craving Comics, powered by the Nerd Store. Today we'll be reviewing one of the most classic,
Most respected.
one of the most beloved Batman comics of all time, Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. Now, Batman has been around for, 75 years, Ricky?
76, 75 years-ish, yeah.
Let's just say he's older than
Who's
my
counting?
grandpa right now.
But still, your grandpa is just not as good as fighting crime as Batman is, somehow.
If my grandfather wore a Batman suit, I'd flee too, though.
Very non-violent approach to crime control. Hey, I like it. Let's jump in, Brett. Tell me
Okay.
what, in The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller, what is going on with Batman at this point in his overall story?
Batman is old. He is, I will not say washed up, but Bruce Wayne has a mustache.
So that makes him old. It does.
A little.
Well, no, but yeah. Sure.
You could say that he's probably about in his late 40s, early 50s right now, and he is just depressed. He's upset because why? Well, who Bruce Wayne really is the Batman, but he's no longer the Batman.
Why isn't he the Batman?
Well, because he's old.
Oh, right, we covered that. And he has a mustache. So,
Yeah, I mean, can't fight crime in a mustache. I mean, just can't.
it just never works. I mean, he's going to get like all up in your cowl, probably pulls his hairs, gets a sore lip. Can't fight crime with a sore lip. No Batman with a mustache.
Where do you think a villain would go to first when it comes to stopping the person they go against? It's
Number
the
one
mustache.
pressure point, mustache.
Boom.
You're done.
So,
That's why your grandpa doesn't fight crime.
Batman, going on with him.
Yes.
He is pretty upset right now because he's just not able to be himself. Bruce Wayne's walking up and down town, and there's still crime going on like he never existed. He's a legend. He's a myth. No one really even knows if he even existed anymore because kids that are 14, 15 years old don't believe stories of the Batman.
Just a ghost story. I get it.
But there's a new gang called the Mutants, and you could see that this finally gets Bruce Wayne to put back the cowl and become the Batman.
Shave the mustache.
Yeah, he shaved the mustache.
All right. Well, good. Because you would have to shave the mustache.
Yes, he has to.
Okay, so Batman is old, but he's back.
Mm-hmm.
And I see in this book there's another Robin, but it doesn't look like any Robin that I know. No Tim Drake, no other Robins that I
No.
know their names of.
They don't mention anything about the other Robins, but we do understand that there's a teenage girl. Power to the women.
Gender equality in all things.
Yep. Carrie. Now, Carrie is just a teenage girl that she wants to be the Robin. So she actually gets a Robin costume, puts it on, and goes fighting with him. I mean, it wasn't like she just went up to him and said, "Hey, can I help you out?" No, she found him and she went fighting with him. And you know what? She became Robin. So he even brought her back to the Batcave and everything. So this is a pretty big thing that immediately he accepts her. I mean, he kind of needed to because, again, he's old.
Needs a sidekick. Well, and if I knew becoming Robin was just as easy as buying a Halloween costume and shooting bad guys with slingshots and pebbles, I might have become Robin long ago. I might not be here recording videos. I could be out fighting crime in the streets with your grandpa.
Ricky, you're past your prime. It's
Say
too
that.
late. It's too late. You're no longer 14 or 15, and you're not a girl.
So, Brett, I see in this book, The Dark Knight Returns, that there is an appearance of Superman in it. So tell me what that's all about.
So this whole Batman vs Superman movie, it's not a coincidence that there's also a fight between Batman and Superman in here.
Mechanized batsuit,
Yep.
Superman being controlled by the government,
Yep.
Batman appears the bad guy, comes out of hiding.
Yep.
What more could you want?
Oh, the fight of the century.
There is that. So in this book specifically, what happens?
So what happens is that there is a big fight that goes on at the end of this because, yes, we can get in graphic novel form, but this was a 4-issue limited series back in the 80s, back when a lot of our parents were in high school. And if you get a look of Frank Miller nowadays, you'd understand how long it's been. But it's been 20-something years, and still this fight between Batman and Superman is considered one of the most epic moments in DC history.
It's true.
It is one of the big reasons as well why this whole Batman vs Superman happened and why they're in a way depicting what happened from this comic into the movie.
Yeah, I like it. Even Ben Affleck's Batsuit, if you want to say, I mean, gray, big exaggerated bat symbol, short Hello Kitty bat ears.
Exactly.
Same thing.
Same exact thing, but still puts the fear of God in people sometimes.
Even in the Man of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Hopefully. I don't know. We'll find out. So, good. Sounds like a really interesting story. Cool take on Batman. Obviously, in his time heralded as new and interesting, now revered as a legendary comic book for the story. What, Brett Duke, would you rate this comic book?
This comic is all about the story. It's nothing really about the art whatsoever.
What do you mean?
The art, well as you've seen by some of the pictures that we've shown in the video already, you can tell that the art isn't first class. It gets the story across.
It's different.
It's
weird.
the 80s.
Yeah.
So it gives you that 80s feel, but also gives you that dark feel that you want because it's Batman. So I would give this a B+. Not because of the story whatsoever. The story is first rate, absolutely amazing.
100%.
The reason why it's a B+ is because of the art. It's still just not all there. It's not that great. It's old, but it still gets its point across. You understand everything that's going on, and the story. It's all about the story. I mean, it is fantastic. I'm not going to really give much of what happens at the end with Batman and Superman, or when he gets in a fight with the leader of the gang, the mutants. It's fabulous. It's amazing.
Pretty cool.
So go pick it up. You can go to your local comic book store, and you will not be at all disappointed because, well, if they're going to make a movie of one of the scenes in the comic, it means it's pretty good.
It's pretty alright. Also of note, there is part 3 of this series, The Dark Knight Returns, The Master Race, currently hitting comic book shelves now, so in single issue forms. If you're into that, go check that out. That's something you could get at the Nerd
Store.
Tell us about it, Brett.
So the Nerd Store, this is a store where you can have that one comic that you're wondering, oh man, every time I go to all the comic stores in my area, they just don't have this because it's been 5 years, it's been 10 years. Or, you know what, you want to kind of spice up your wardrobe a little bit and get a really good comic book t-shirt.
Yes. Good comic book hat. Oh, I'm not wearing my comic book. Sorry, messed that up.
You can also get a comic book hat though.
True.
And with that being, Charles, the owner, has brought the Nerd Store to be able to be the place where you can get all those things. Now, he has the Facebook page, which will be at the end of the video, be right here. And you'll be able to click on it and be able to ask Charles anything that you need, and he may be able to get it for you. The Nerd Store has some exclusive variants right now on stuff for 10% off. The first one would be The Book of Death, which is issue 1 of 4, amazing story, and
Yes.
in my opinion, pretty interesting cover too. For a limited time, 10% off. The other one is The Wrath of the Eternal Warrior, issue 1. Exclusive Nerd Store variant, 10% off for a short period of time.
1 in 500 cover.
500.
Pretty awesome.
That's less than how many prints there were of Star Wars issue 1.
Well, everything is less. They printed like 1 billion copies of that.
Yeah. Still,
Alright.
less. So, thank you for listening to our episode of The Dark Knight Returns graphic novel review.
Yes, thank you.
So if you want to be able to watch one of our other recent videos, go ahead and click right here. And if you want to be able to check out the Nerd Store's Facebook, so you can ask Charles any questions that you may have about your collection or anything that he may have in stock, just click right here. And then when it comes to our weekly podcast that we do, if you want to be able to listen to what me and Ricky have to say about the most latest comic books coming out now, just
The
click
best.
right here.
Bam.
Thank you for watching, and this is Brett Duke.
And Ricky Andresen.